Talk to me about what you are doing now after the success of Get Rich or Die Trying.
After the album dropped, you know, we were immediately on tour. I started learning how to book tours, buses with studios on it. So one year, one tour, we had Pharrell's bus, which was fire. It had an ill studio in the back. First year, we had Juvie. It was kind of hood, but we made it work because Pat didn't like the recording because the generator you could hear it was right under there. So it was like certain things with engineers that mattered with the recording process, but we had to get music done. So, you know, for me, I was a, I was a manager for 50. Chris was the business manager in a sense at the meetings. But when we're in the road in the field, I was with Fifth every day. So we were going from city to city, state to state, and I had to focus on that. Taking a big MPC with you everywhere, after a while, and having to plug speakers in, it wasn't something I could do every day because I had to go do mic checks and all of that. So you couldn't create as much. So for me, it was like, I can't make beats because I'm so busy. So immediately, I knew I had to start getting producers like I did with the album that I could with, where I could actually manage them, bring them in, bring some heat from them that I could with their sound. And Black Jerus, Chad Beats, Illmind, Jake One, you know, Jay Hen from so many different producers, Kanai Finch, that came up under me that were talented and they just had no outlets. And I didn't judge them. They could have nothing, and I just knew that their talent was there. And I didn't, even when I gave 50 the beat, it didn't have their name on it. It just had the beat CD. And he just wanted to hear good music. So I would just pile him with the good music from everyone I knew that I was fucking with. And that became money management. And that became the foundation to lay all the other albums that were coming. And if and then other people started coming in. I didn't have to manage everybody but it was my squad and then other guys that were bringing beats in that had hot. We would take from everyone. So for me, I had multiple duties and tasks, and I couldn't create it. So I used my brain to create a management company where the creation was still happening. And then from there, Jimmy was like, "Hey, y'all about to give me this G Unit album? Hey, here, let's do this G Unit label." So 50, boom, here we go. And now it's Fifth's like, "Yo, you're gonna be the president." So that's another job, a whole nother job. Looking at the whole, we got to find the office, we got to set up the whole, this the yearly payment, this was coming in, this what we gonna spend for that, and hire this employee, get our own promo team, you know what I mean, get our own radio dude, get everything together. We had to start doing that from scratch. And me, as I know, being in the industry, picking certain people I with, and then they all came in, Fifth with them, he approved it. Some people he brought in, and we brought in the whole G in the team, and we created this. Fifth had people from Colombia that he brought in and that he worked with since then and still appreciated them, brought them in. Everybody, and we both contributed to the team, and then it became a label. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm a producer, I'm a manager, I'm the president, co-founder of G Unit Records. Things is rolling. We getting busy as Chris Lighty, like I said, is handling all the big meetings and putting together the things like vitamin water and I started making moves as a manager based on relationships, and I started learning like, I could be like a Chris Lighty because boom, once again, Steve Stout, he calls me, yo, how can I get 50 to wear these S dot sneakers? Put this G Unit logo on it, bro. He'll wear it. Boom. A box come back. We on tour. I think we in Phoenix or somewhere. Whole bunch of S dots come back. The tongue got 50 name on it. I'm right on the heel. G Unit. Fifth saw that. He was like, what? He wore that to his shows. Crowd went crazy. This before going crazy online, but just started trending. Everybody talking about it. People was going crazy. Reebok. Next thing you know, we on a. So I'm now doing deals that I don't, just through relationships and things that happen and connections come together. Chris Lighty jump in. He do the bigger part. go sit with the corporate. We flying on helicopters, getting to the meeting. Fifth do his part. Bang, he's selling more sneakers than athletes. You know what I'm saying? So I know that I'm moving more now. I'm an executive. So for me, I'm moving in a place where I just want to get things done. Because if I can't create it, I'm going to find a creator. So now I'm like, all right, what's next? You know what I'm saying? And it came to a point where, for Fifth, he's a different kind of dude. So he started counting money. I brought a Ferrari one time. He was like, yo, Shy, you making too much money, man. And that, you know, that was the day that I remember because I was an all hip hop party and everybody was there. And I pulled up in this Ferrari. I was wilding, you know what I'm saying? I just, I had Matchboxes as a kid, little hot, Hot Wheels and shit. So you want a hot car, man. So here I am pulling up. Fifth get the call. But in my hood, it's different. And I'm seeing it even now today. The hater is more stronger than the love. So a lot of people calling him, yo, Shy, pull up in a Ferrari. So he get angry too. Like, yo, Shy, what you doing driving a Ferrari? Yo, son, I'm just making some money, bro. He's like, yo, bro, I ain't even got a Ferrari yet. So he mad at me because I'm on my. So that's when I learned you can't outshine the master. Because I was reading the 48 Laws of Power. You know what I'm saying? So that shit offended him. You know what I'm saying? And as I started realizing that book and all of that, we'll talk about that soon too. But that's where the decline and the separation started, where he was like, you doing too much. When we was broke, I could be the engineer, it could be my house, I could pay the electric bill, we could do it all. But when it started getting to the money part, then you start counting, he making money from this, making money. So everybody, it came into a little way. So that's when, as I kept putting out albums, all the albums that came out in the G Unit came out while I was there. The last album I dropped was Buck's album, Buck the World. And right after that, 50 didn't even call me. My business manager called me and said, Fifth, don't want you to be the president of Label One. That's where it changed. Let's talk about power, the word power. Start with the book 48 Laws of Power, right? Robert Greene. So back in when we was in my basement, I started reading books, self-help books. Someone told me that's how you're going to, be able to think deep, fast, past where you at right now and elevate where you need to go. So that was a book I picked up. And so I started reading it, and the book was interesting. And like I told you, never outshine the master. That was an issue that I had. But then I felt like the book was just giving me some insights that I didn't look at it in the perspectives, right? So after I finished reading it, I was like, yo, Fifth, this book right here is fire, bro. Like, you might need to, where he was at, I knew he could take that. And when he took that book, he literally read that in and out. And with me, back then, I would read books, take to it, I wouldn't act on it. This motherfucker started acting on the he was taking in. I'm like, yo, we went from partners, I went to an employee, and all kind of shit. He started like, I'm like, yo, this motherfucker mind is ill. Because he really knew how to do that. And then later on, fast forward, he meets Robert Greene and the 50th Law of Power. So they create a book together. And even though I had nothing to do with none of that, originally seed was planted through what I gave him with that book. So look at all his power this, power that, 48 laws of power, 50, everything is power. You know what I'm saying? And it's mine, you know what I mean? So he got a strong mind, you know what I'm saying? In that book, he really took that to that level. For me, it was like I was more religion based, so I knew I couldn't take to all of that. And some of that shit was a little darker than normal. So I had to kind of not actually act on it because I don't want to be an evil person in this industry, you know what I'm saying? So it was hard for me to move on how he moved on it. Not saying that he's that, but it's just he knew how to move accurately on those laws, and he did that.
Book is like the way to act on it is definitely not the thing that you want to do.
No, you don't.
I think
but just to know,
knowledge of it,
yeah, that this king did that, this person did that, this is how they did that, this is how they conquered this.
The history is ridiculous.
Nuts.
Examples, you can't beat history.
No.
Somebody doing it.
No.
And then running into those issues. So with never outshine the master, you feel that's kind of where the situation with 50, he wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah, that's the law that took me out.
Yeah, even with 50 and M.
That's the law that took me out because we fought off a percentage of me owning G Unit, and he didn't want to give that up. So and that became a tension point, and that's where we broke. But at that point, we dropped all those albums, and I made so much money. I didn't want to leave early, so I hanged on as long as I could. But Fifth got a ticking time, and like when I get to the 10, one body gonna drop, another 5, somebody going. So it started going. First it was Game, then it became, So eventually it was me. He just do that. That's how he moved. So I couldn't hold on as long as I tried to, but I still got love for him, but that's just what we went through at that time. So it's not beef. It's just the bad of the way business sometimes it don't work out. That's how I take it. Now, you know what I mean?
If you want to see this full interview without having to wait, you can join our YouTube memberships program for just $8 a month. You get the full interview, behind the scenes footage, and no ads. If you want more, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/diverse mentality. And for $10 a month, you can not only get these full interviews immediately, but also get uncut and ad-free documentaries as well. The link is in the description for both. For those of you that don't know, this Shaw Money XL interview is from my 2023 Get Rich or Die Trying documentary, where I go around interviewing producers and engineers that worked on that album for the making of the process of that album. So check out that documentary in the description below.